Hello there, this is Jam Master Daniel 96, and today's video I'll be reviewing the Batman. So how I'll do this review, yes, I'll be talking about spoilers on stuff I'll be talking about in the movie, along with my thoughts, and if you don't want to be spoiled, click off this video and then come back to it, so you have that there, and this review will be like off scripted, and I won't be doing it scene by scene. I'll just be talking about stuff and then giving my thoughts and all. So that's about it. So let's get to it. So The Batman is directed by Matt Reeves, and Robert Pattinson is about our sixth live action movie Batman, as we've had, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and now Robert Pattinson. I mean, if you want to include, like, let's say Adam West, he would be our seventh live action Batman. So you got that there. And I mean, Robert Pattinson really knocks it out of the park. And I know people were divided at first when they announced he would be our new Batman. And he does a pretty good job with the character, in my opinion. I mean, he just knocks it out of the park, in my opinion. I mean, for both Bruce Wayne and Batman, and Andy Serkis is our new Alfred in this movie, and I'd say he does a solid job with the character in the movie, and I mean, Paul Dano's Riddler is like a whole nother level. I mean, this guy is like insane. Like with Paul Dano's Riddler, I mean, where Jim Carrey had the over top performance, which I think is fun to watch in Batman Forever. I mean, to Paul Dano's Riddler, I mean, it's a whole nother level on that bit compared to Jim Carrey's Riddler in Batman Forever. I mean, with Paul Dano's Riddler, I mean, this guy is like a killer. I mean, like in the beginning of the movie, he kills the mayor in this movie. Like, the current mayor they have in this movie, because there's a mayor election. And then in the beginning of the movie, he kills, the mayor, and then, he leaves all these riddles to Batman at every crime scene. And then there's even a part where he even gives a riddle to Bruce Wayne, and then there's a bit where it blow, where where I think it has like "see you in hell," and then he explodes, but Alfred reads it, and then Alfred's in the hospital and all. So yeah, that there in this movie. So that's that, and then with Colin Farrell's Penguin, it's like, I mean, he was like so unrecognizable as the Penguin, like in all that makeup. Like, in all that makeup, you couldn't tell that was Colin Farrell. I mean, and even Colin Farrell did a pretty good job playing the Penguin as well. I mean, even with him, looking unrecognizable in all that makeup, I mean, he really pulls it off as the Penguin. And then we have Falcone in this movie, and you could say he's also like one of the other villains in this movie, and he's like Penguin's right hand man. And then we also have Catwoman in this movie, and then we see this like chemistry between Batman and Catwoman. So you have that there in this movie as well. So you have that, and then Catwoman's looking for a friend of hers that's been taken, and then later on the movie is revealed to be killed, and then Catwoman finds a call, and which leads to Falcone as well, and then which is the death of her friend, and then there's a part where Falcone gets arrested, and then he and then Falcone ends up getting killed by the Riddler because the Riddler's apartment, like, he snipes on Falcone and shoots him. And so you have that there, and then they all storm the Riddler's apartment to look for clues and all that, and then they find the Riddler at this like diner kind of place, and then in the Riddler's coffee we see the question mark that he puts in, and then they arrest the Riddler and take him to Arkham Asylum. And then there's a bit where Batman talks with the Riddler in Arkham, and then, the Riddler, puts these bombs in the Gotham sea, the sea walls, and then they blow up, and then the city's starting to flood, and that's like, part of the big climax of the movie where everyone's all trying to get to safety, and then they're at like this arena in Gotham, which is like the Gotham Square Garden. So I think they were trying to like guess take inspiration from the Madison Square Garden in New York, where like the Rangers and the Knicks play. So I guess they were taking inspiration from that to call it Gotham Square Garden. And then we have, that's where people go into safety. And then, we have that, and then the mayor's there to give a speech and all, like the new mayor. And then like we see the Riddler, bring all his thugs there, and then like the Riddler is bringing all these like making all these videos about his plan, and then the end game was to also kill the new mayor as well, but his thugs shoot the mayor, but she ends up surviving, and then we see Batman and Catwoman take down the Riddler's thugs at the end in the big climax, and then the Riddler is still in Arkham. So we don't, see Batman fight the Riddler. And the Riddler is kind of like, he's sort of like the big bad of this movie, with bringing all the clues and all. And he's kind of, the guy they're trying to track down. And him and, Batman and Jim Gordon are trying to, investigate all these, crime scenes. And we see, Batman trying to decode all the messages that the Riddler is sending him and all. So we have that, and this brings the more detective aspect of the character, and I thought it was pretty interesting with the detective aspect to it, and I really did like this take on Batman with bringing in a detective aspect with it, and then kind of like you have a murder mystery aspect with it too, and then you have the bit with Falcone as well. So you have that bit there with the Falcone stuff, and also with the Penguin, and then you have the bits with the Riddler and all. So you have that there. So I mean, they really pull it off nicely with the villains in this movie. So you got that there. And I mean, this isn't part of a like cinematic universe like the MCU or the DCEU. I really liked bringing the more standalone feel to it as well, and I thought this movie was beautifully shot as well. And a bit at the end when the Riddler's in Arkham, I mean, there's a bit where this guy, looks insane as well, because, Arkham Asylum is where the criminally insane people go. And a lot of people are speculating, could this be the Joker in the Matt Reeves Batman universe? So maybe we'll get the Joker at some point further down the line. It's not Joaquin Phoenix, it's a new actor. So I guess they wanted to sort of tease it in a way. It wasn't like a post-credit scene or something. It was like in the movie, not like, like after the credits. I mean, for a post-credit scene, I mean, it was pretty much, what you saw in the Riddler's computer with the green letters, and it just said goodbye question mark. And that was pretty much like the thing at the end of the credits. You mean you didn't have like a post-credit scene in this movie? And I think, Matt Reeves, I guess, wanted to bring a more different approach with the superhero movie genre, because in the past years, we've been, so used to all the post-credit scenes and all these, like build-ups to these like big crossover events and all these, like team-up movies, and this, version of the Batman brought us back to that standalone feel, which I liked, and I thought it was a nice refresher from all that stuff. I thought it was nice to go back to the standalone feel, in my opinion. So that's that there, and I'd probably rate this movie about a 10 out of 10, in my opinion. I mean, I just enjoyed the movie. I mean, it's just really, 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 really good. I mean, I could put a whole list of reallys and then good on how good this movie is. I mean, so you got that there, and that's pretty much all I gotta say in this video. I mean, I definitely recommend this movie. I mean, go see it if you haven't seen it already. I mean, just see the movie. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, that does it for me in this video. Don't forget to like this video, Subscribe to the channel. Comment what you think down below. What did you think of this movie? Did you like the movie? Not like the movie? Were you indifferent? Let me know your thoughts down below. Share this video and tell your friends to subscribe. Let's get to 500 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter, DanRS87, Instagram, JamMasterDaniel96, Facebook, JamMasterDaniel96. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.